Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am RobertaPancakes and today I'm super excited to bring you the speed build of a lot I just finished up. I made it for the world of Chestnut Ridge. As you can tell, it is located at the Cozy Corner house lot. It's a 20 by 20 lot located in the new Appaloosa, like downtown area of Chestnut Ridge, and at its completion, this build comes to, I believe, 22,185 simoleons, and it has 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. So if you move 2 Sims into this lot, it could be used as a starter home without cheating, I believe. Don't hold me to that though. I really can't remember how many simoleons you get when you start out with 2 Sims. I'm gonna have to like peek back in and check that for the record so that I don't say you can move in without cheating if you actually can't move in without cheating. But yeah, the inspiration for this build was sparked by a sim you guys might know named Don Gooseman. And Don lives in the Galloping Gulch area of Chestnut Ridge. He actually lives in the Canyon Crossing lot, and he has a Clydesdale named Duke. And in Don's bio, it states that he is a retired champion rider turned riding mentor to some folks in town, but that's pretty much all it states about him. So I actually went ahead and decided to expand his story a little bit, and I made him a daughter named Janelle and a grandson named Thomas. Now, I did go in to create a sim to do this, so Don and Janelle are genetically related, but I did not go as far as to make Janelle's mother. I'm actually pretending that she has since passed away and that her and Don were never really together for any substantial period of time because of his focus on his riding career. So I imagine maybe she moved away with Janelle when she was just a baby and she raised her somewhere else, maybe like Evergreen Harbor. And I thought that Janelle definitely knew Don growing up, and maybe she stopped by and saw him on special occasions or holidays. So yeah, she does know who he is, and she has known who he was her whole life, but she and Don really never had a close relationship because she did live away with her mother. And with her mother's passing recently, Janelle wanted her son Thomas, who is a toddler, to live here in Chestnut Ridge near the only remaining family member that the two of them really have left. So Janelle herself is a single mother, and she lives here in this trailer with her son. So after she decided to leave Thomas's father, I'm thinking maybe she got away with a little bit of money and some, a few pieces of furniture. And so she's staying here and she plans to fix it up, but she's honestly just thrilled to have a peaceful place to call her own. So her and her son are starting fresh here. And yeah, I'm really excited about how this came out. It came together really nicely. The floor plans are always fairly easy when you're doing simple trailers like this because there's only so much variation you can really work with. But because I wanted it to be a 2-bedroom, I did plan pretty early on to make this a trailer with an addition on it. I just really like making trailers and small little homes like this with additions. I think it's a little more of a challenge to try to differentiate between the original portion and the portion that was added on. I did go back and forth a little bit with the swatches on the outside of the house because initially I wanted the trailer portion to be a little bit older and to have the addition be a little newer. But as it was coming together, I actually realized that the idea of having the trailer portion be newer, and well, I mean, technically not newer. The trailer portion looks newer, but the addition portion, which would be newer, was actually made with older gathered materials that the original owners maybe just had laying around, rather than having it look clean and new like I typically do. Like I'll do an older trailer look with a brand new squeaky clean addition on it because I think that is fun. Like, oh, this new room that's added on has like this new carpet and this new wall. But in this case, it was original camper, and then the part that's added on looks more rustic and old just because of the materials that they used to build it, rather than it being because it had actually sat and aged for quite some time. So I really love how the outdoor space and this whole lot sort of blends into the town really well. I know sometimes it's hard when you have something that you want to build and when you look at it in comparison to the buildings nearby, it doesn't really fit that great and you can't help it and that's just the way it goes. But with this one, it was really nice that, when you're playing here, you can sort of look around and it feels like it really truly belongs here. Aside from, some of the foliage I brought in from the cottage living pack. I love the shrubs and the bushes and the trees that we got with that pack. I tend to use them quite frequently actually, but yeah, so here in the side yard, I wanted to close it in enough so that it felt a little bit private and it's shady and it's secluded. It just has like a really cozy sort of side yard vibe. And then in the backyard, like I said, this trailer has been here for a little while, so I wanted it to look a little unkempt back here. I just quickly threw in some taller grass and some greenery because, I mean, your Sim's probably not going to have anything fun or exciting to do back there anyway. So I just feel like, finish it off, fluff it up back there, and then focus most of the energy here on the side yard. But I think I do go around back again and I add some broken fence pieces, if I can recall correctly, just to add just a little something else. I am very guilty of, telling myself, okay, this is good, this is got enough sort of clutter, and then you just swing around the building one more time and just one more thing, and then just one more other thing, and then just one more thing. Just like I went around, I don't know how many times, and changed the foundation on the trailer portion. I did not there. I think this sort of beige, this light color here that we ended up with now is what I end up keeping. I think, don't hold me to that because, yeah, I'm guilty of changing that kind of stuff all the time, right up to the very last minute. And then the things that I wish would stay that I am super happy with, like the terrain paint, disappeared on me like 2 different times. So it stays this way like the entire time that I was building, but right up to the time I was uploading it to my library. By the time you watch this, I will have uploaded it to the gallery. But just uploading it into my library before I went ahead and play tested, it erased the terrain paint 2 times. So I am hoping, keeping my fingers super, super crossed, that by the time you download this, the terrain paint will be intact and looking like it's looking right now. So yeah, here in the side yard, I just added a picnic table, a little barbecue grill, and a little fire pit. I have a couple little garden plots up in the top, and then, of course, as usual in a lot of my country builds, even sometimes my residential builds, I always try to throw in a bunny stump. I just love bunnies, much as I play, which I guess is not that much. I have not had a bunny like disrupt anything, and they add so much life to your lot. So like, why not? Why not just throw in the bunny stump? I think here in a second I start to add in a little bit of the outdoor lighting just to make sure we have proper outdoor lighting. I know in a lot of my builds that's one of the last things I remember to do. That and to add an outdoor garbage can. I know in this build I forgot the outdoor garbage can until I was play testing, and that's one of the things that I almost always forget. Luckily, in a lot of cases, I put in the garbage can that you never have to take out the trash, the one that like gives you money when you throw garbage away in there. I use that one as frequently as I can if I'm not trying to build on a budget. Usually, then whenever I use a garbage can that you do need to empty every once in a while, I forget to put an outdoor garbage can in, and it's not until I am actually playing in one of my builds that I'm like, oh, I forgot to do that. So if you've ever downloaded a lot of mine and it didn't have an outdoor garbage can, I'm apologizing. It happens frequently, and I hate to say that it probably will happen again. So now we are moving into the toddler room of the house, and it gave me the most problems. And I don't think it was the room itself, it was just my thought processes of what I wanted the room to sort of feel like. Because initially I wanted it to the whole house has a sort of hand-me-down vibe where it sort of looks like all of the pieces are a little bit eclectic and that they either were purchased at a store for, a cheap price or were sort of found at like a flea market, and that I initially thought I wanted the toddler room to be more new, but then as I started placing stuff around, I really liked this toy box here is sort of what pushed me in the direction of wanting to go a little more hand-me-down route in the kids' room as well. I like that light wood swatch, so I sort of playing around with that and it matched the little potty chair. And then, I threw in a couple toys and I actually really like how it looked like this also was sort of maybe little heirloom pieces. And I thought maybe we could pretend that whoever lives here, you know, these pieces were handed down from their parents. In this case, I would like to pretend that, Janelle, her mother sort of had this stuff from when she was a little girl, and so she passed it down to her son, and then it made this eclectic little room, and I really like it. Kids' rooms are always so fun to do because there are so many options and you can really change it up however you like. Moving on to the kitchen. Now the kitchen I didn't think was going to give me that much of a problem because it is such a big space, especially for such a small house. This is quite the large kitchen, but I couldn't figure out how I wanted it to come together. And then you'll see me like work at it and work at it. I get it to a point that I like it, and it ends up being the one area in this cramped house that I ended up having to change the most during the playtesting period. It ends up looking more like this than how I change it to. So I end up changing it back to this point with the L-shaped counter instead of just the counters that go all across the back. So in a second, you'll see me sort of take the corner cabinet, or I guess the corner counter out and make it just straight across, and then I tuck the garbage can back in beside the refrigerator. But then whenever I was trying to get Janelle to cook, she wouldn't go to the counter behind the chair. There mustn't have been enough room there, which I wasn't totally shocked by that. But then she wouldn't cook on the counter that's sort of like tucked in behind the refrigerator either. So I moved the garbage can out. I moved the wall decor out that I had tucked back in there as sort of like a clutter, and she still wouldn't use it. So I could not, for the life of me, figure out how to adjust anything in that corner. And now that I'm, watching this back, I end up putting like a shelf up there. So I'm thinking maybe it was the shelf above the counter. I mean, I'm not sure. I really, really struggled with trying to figure out because I wanted that layout to stay the same. Mostly just because, you guys are watching me build this, and then, I want you guys to upload what you see me build. So, yeah, I was a little bit disappointed that I had to change it up, but I really, really like how it turned out. And you'll see that in the screenshots at the end, like what it turned into. And it's not that big of a difference, but I was just a little disappointed because I really thought that it was going to be completely fine, and then to find out that it wasn't. But I'm really, really glad that I do go back and playtest because I really hate to discover that I've uploaded a build and you guys download it, I should say, into your game, and then your Sims can't cook or your Sims can't go into the restroom. So I always just want to make sure that what I give you guys is a complete build and you guys can move in and immediately get started, and you don't have to finagle things around in order to just get the build to function properly. So it is kind of funny when you will see me do the bathroom. I usually do bathrooms with very similar layouts. I like smaller bathrooms, they just feel more realistic. But the bathroom that I make in this build, I swore was not going to work. I only held out an ounce of hope that this was going to function the way that I was hoping it would. And so the very first thing I did when I had Janelle and her little toddler son Thomas move in was I immediately had her try to give him a bath, and you'll see what I mean. Just like the way the room is super small, and I wanted to make sure there was a bathroom because if you guys uploaded this and decided to move in with a little toddler too, obviously they need bathed, so you have to have a bathtub. So I wanted to make sure I had a bathtub shower combo because I just like the options with those. So I was pretty determined to make sure that it was going to work. And like I said, you'll see, it does not look like it's going to, but it did. And it all functioned perfectly in the bathroom. So it's kind of funny how you'll have a whole build and the parts that you don't think are going to give you trouble during playtesting surprisingly do. And then the parts that you wholeheartedly expect to have to completely redo function perfectly. So if that's not The Sims for you, I don't know what is. So now I'm just kind of cluttering up the kitchen just to make this refrigerator area feel like, it's a little bit more lived in. Other bedroom, I guess it would be the adult's bedroom. It would be very easy to just expand this room open so you could add in a double bed if you wanted to. I didn't need a double bed for what I was building this for, so a little single bed worked fine. And once again, sort of added pieces in that look like they would have been heirloom pieces. And I did want to add a painting easel so that your Sims would have like a skill building activity. I like to throw as many of those in there as I can. I know in these smaller builds, you don't want to sacrifice being able to decorate and make things look pretty for having something that is skill building. And I guess the outdoor space in this area is good. Like you could always throw in like a nectar maker out there or almost any other item that your sim might need to use for a skill building activity. So I'm finishing up the bedroom here, and then I'm going to be moving on to the bathroom, which came together super, super quickly. I really hope you enjoyed this speed build. If you would like me to do more, please let me know by liking this video or leaving me a request in the comments down below on something you would like me to build in the future. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so, so much for watching and have a great rest of your day. Bye, everybody.